In this module, we'll look at the rhetorical analysis of visual texts. Visual documents, like verbal texts, use rhetorical strategies to inform, persuade, or even entertain. To produce effective photographs, ads, and brochures, designers pay attention to the same things writers do: audience, purpose, and context. Let's begin with an introduction to several features of images that designers use to focus their audience attention and create visual emphasis. Some of these, position, size, color, may already be familiar to you. Others, like lines of sight, perspective, and pattern, may be new. First, we'll look at position and the rule of thirds. This guideline, borrowed from photographers, suggests that when parts of an image line up with a grid, dividing the image into thirds horizontally and vertically, the image seems more pleasant, more focused, and more energetic than a symmetrical arrangement. The intersections of the lines create points of particular emphasis. Here's an example. Notice that the lower horizontal line bisects the sunset, which is the lightest area of the image. The right vertical line traces the trunk of the tree, emphasizing the dramatic contrast between light and dark where they come together. In this second example, the left vertical line calls attention to the face, and the upper horizontal line passes through the eyes. This intersection creates an emphatic focus on this key feature. Size is another element for visual analysis, and size, of course, is always relative. In the first photo, the pyramid dwarfs the figure on a camel, emphasizing his insignificance. In the second image, however, the rider and his camel dominate the image and loom over the pile of stones to the left. Color is a third source of visual emphasis. Notice here that the contrast between the gray umbrella and the color of the girl's features and clothing draws our focus to her face. Color carries emotional weight too, and the warmth of the pinks and browns of the girl also contrast with the emotionally cool gray of the umbrella. We are also drawn to strong lines in images, and they direct our attention to focal points. Here, for example, the arcing line formed by the headlights and taillights in this timed exposure create a strong focus on the point, in this case the bridge, where they converge. Lines are also important when we consider perspective. As our eyes are drawn up the side of this clock tower, we cannot help but feel small in comparison. On the other hand, seeing the world from above, particularly from a great height, is called a God's eye view. It makes us feel powerful and in control. Finally, pattern and repetition are fruitful sources of visual emphasis. Here, the panes of glass in the building form a patterned grid of mirrored images. But what we are drawn to is the disorganization of the reflected images of the building opposite. Is this perhaps a comment on the fragility of the old in the face of the new? To sum up, we have seen that strategies which produce visual emphasis have a rhetorical effect on the audience that is cumulative and collective. Visual emphasis is, or should be, purposeful. Finally, visual emphasis may be captured in an unedited photo or created by editing or manipulation.